It's not even, there it goes.
Just dancing for 12 seconds.
I was like, come on, I want to talk. I finished this book on Monday and I was like,
I can't believe
I have so many thoughts. I created a thing on my thing. I have notes. I actually have thoughts. Only for like the first half of it, but
that's so funny. Jen is here from the Book Refuge, and Deja. Hi, Deja. I love Deja so much.
Oh my
we
gosh.
are ready to talk about Midnight Sun. I'm like, why is this so long? What does Edward have to say? Oh, and nice, Nat. Nice.
That's commitment. Good job. Good job.
I saw her tweet that she was reading it. I'm like, just in time for the live stream. Hi, Trish. How are you? Hello, Shomla. How are you? The Cozy Mom Life. You haven't finished? Oh, I mean, honestly, it's just it's the same story. You just get Edward's unique point of view. So, I mean, honestly, it's not spoiled at all. You just get, Edward's thoughts and stuff. So, just got done eating dinner. I literally got home from work like 20 minutes ago. So I'll hop off and watch tomorrow. It is completely up to you.
Up to you, yeah. Because I was like, at one point at the very end, I'm going to say from Edward's point of view, like, what is your favorite story? You're going to see my cat here in a moment. He's decided to join today. It's been a couple weeks. But yeah, we can always...
He's like, what is this stack here?
He's like, this isn't normally here.
We are doing good. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Good, but like insanely hot. It was 115 when I looked at the thermometer before we got here. And let me just tell you, I feel every degree of it.
I honestly think we've had like some 30-some days, consecutive days of 110 plus. Yes, so it's very unfortunate.
I've scared my cat now. Yay, you finished!
Deja's working on her AP chemistry.
Nice, nice.
There isn't much to spoil. Yes, yep.
This is also true.
Hello, Shannon! Hello, hello.
Deja, you got it, Deja! I did hand make one. This is actually the second one because the first one, okay, curse words will be in this whole thing, but the first one I made was too fucking small for this thing. Can you believe that? The pomegranate is so large that the first one I had made, and you know how you have those like gigantor mugs? Let me tell you, like they're tea mugs. I have about 1,000 of them. So they were just so large. And I was like, it's guaranteed to cover the whole thing. No, guys, it was not.
How do we survive? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, I think the other day I took a picture of it and it was 121. But I think ours are a little bit, it stays there for like half a second and then goes away.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cozy Mom Life. We are in Phoenix.
I like to describe
Arizona.
I like to describe temperature between East Coast because everyone says it's a dry heat. So the Cozy Mom is very true because dry heat is like opening an oven for cookies and not having any cookies and not being able to close the oven. A humid heat is like opening the dishwasher and never being able to close the dishwasher. It is hell. So I totally get now what people mean by a dry heat. And I'm like, I'll take it. It sucks, but I'll take it.
That's true. All right, Izzy, come back soon. Oh, that's on my watch later. I have to watch that because she did a reread of the series too with Izzy and Ashley at the Bookish Realm and 2 other people that I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry.
How dare you, Nicole?
I know. I'm a terrible.
You just got home from work. You've been thinking too much.
I know. It's just like my brain. Love the new cover.
I was really impressed that I got it done. So it's supposed to be a blood orange, but it could be a grapefruit. So
that's like not a grapefruit.
I get the references, but honestly, looking at the cover freaked me out so much. So I'm like, ooh.
If you have that phobia of like holes, it will freak you out. Like, I bet you, Jen, if you showed this cover to Zach, he would freaking lose his mind.
And I didn't think I had a problem with it, but like looking at it, the first time I was like, oh, I just don't like it because it's not cute. And then like the more I liked it, I was like, this is actually really disturbing.
It's all like juicy and
oh yeah, but the great thing about this cover is it's just small enough that it catches the little blood drop of the pomegranate. So I was like, it works even better.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I need you to make me one for my book, Kate. Thanks.
Okay, that's gonna take a while. Don't expect anything too soon, but I'll get it for you.
It's fine. By the time we come out of quarantine, it's gonna be ready.
There you go, 100%.
Jen, I still have to watch your video because I know you posted it a couple of days ago. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm right there with you because the last month my Twihardness has come out so much, and I've loved it so much. I was like, I forgot how much I love everything about this. Like the movies are absolute garbage. I will give it 1,000% that, but the books, like I'm weirdly into again, and I feel like I need to put like every 5 years, maybe every 10 years, just like revisit the world.
Yes, there is a phobia of holes. Yes.
And there's one picture of a lady where they just keep moving and it's like it won't ever leave my head. One person showed it once on the internet and I was like, no. Oh, don't Google it. Well, Google it and then maybe you'll know that if you have it or not.
He hates himself. That is so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's referenced Hades and Persephone and pomegranates like 7 times in this book. So last Friday, that's when she posted her blog.
Ah, okay. Oh, you got done with that.
It does. It does look like, that's what I was just saying before we went live. It looks like a heart with the all the, chambers and then the blood and the ooze and yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, well.
As an adult, I mean, we're all, age is just a number. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. The books are so much better. Twilight didn't get that much hate until the movie started coming out. That's for sure.
I would love them to redo it. And I think we started this back in the first one being like, who would we recast? I still haven't figured out a cast for it, but I'm just like, honestly, I would love them to redo it. I would love
I stand beside like Timothy Salamander. I don't know what his last name is. Yeah. He's so popular. Like he's so popular as like a young actor. Like he's in his 20s, I know, but he looks super young. So I bet you anything, if this was to be remade, he would be Edward 100%.
Oh, if it was done like right now? Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. Yes. Thank you. I have that in the description box of this live stream is the website to donate to the Quileute tribe. So yes, thank you for reminding me. I read it in 48 hours.
Oh man. I did an audiobook. I probably could have done it more, but I was up at the Grand Canyon to kind of get out of the heat for a bit. So I didn't have as much time as I would have liked.
All that. I loved all your pictures. But honestly, like what honestly kicked this book up a notch for me, because I started physically reading it at first. And then I was just like, I'm not going to get this done in time. I need to get the audiobook so I can, this whole week, my husband and I were getting ready to go to California. So I was like, I don't have time to physically sit down and read this. So I ended up getting the audiobook and I love the narrator. I love him so much. Mm-hmm. I loved him in Supernatural. I loved him in The Host. I just love his face. I just love him so much. So honestly, one of the stars that I'm going to give this book is just based on Jake Abel being the narrator. Honestly,
I think I gave it 4 stars. I will say, and I know that this is going to kind of take away from the comments for a moment, but I was really excited at first because I felt like we were getting a lot of new stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, this is really exciting!" And then, like, we started to pick up from where he met Bella, and then I was like, "This is the exact same scene every single moment." And I was like, "Can we get just a little more new?" Like, I just wanted a little bit more.
And honestly, this book is so large. I honestly expected so much more from Edward's, like, because it's from Edward's point of view. So I expected a little bit more of it being different, not, like that. But,
like my biggest thing I will say, and I even left a little note of it, and you probably have a post-it on it, is Denali. Like that thing whiplashed me so hard. I was like, we're in Denali. We're gone. We're back and forth. So I was like, He's supposed to be here for like a whole week. Like, I wanted more.
Just in the first 50 pages, he threatens to leave 3 times, and he actually does leave 1 time. So I'm just like, okay, come on.
I was just like, can we? Oh,
yes,
man.
Shannon.
I need to watch that, yeah.
I haven't watched it yet because I honestly don't like Timothy Salamander.
Yeah, I'll watch it for you. It's okay.
Thank you.
I think it's Charlemagne. I don't even know.
I will always call him Timothy Salamander. That's why people are talking about Adam from Supernatural. Yes, because he's amazing. I really think that is he is too hot, honestly. He's too hot for Edward.
That's awesome.
Like, I will be up. No, I completely agree with you.
That's so true.
I read it physically, and you read the series backwards. So okay, yeah. Okay. Awesome. Olivia at Olivia's Catastrophe is doing that. She started with Breaking Dawn, and she's working her way through the series backwards. I think that's so interesting. Edward talks so much.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, so for reals, like especially with the scenes where it's like everything, like if you read Twilight, everything that's happening, especially from the baseball scene on, everything is happening so quick for Bella. Everything is just like, okay, we got to go, we got to pack, we got to, And I felt like that was so much longer in this book just because Edward thinks so quick. He's having all of these thoughts and all of these conversations. So much is happening like in that, but the timeline is the same. He's just thinking so fast. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, doesn't she have a line here somewhere? And then I'm like, oh, there it is.
I'm like, that's so much time that passed, but it really is not, because you're right. His mind just works so quickly. And I think some of my favorite scenes were him and Alice, especially like when they were booking it on the 17 or the 10 or whatever. They think it was the 17 trying to get to Cactus. So like, we're going 165. I was like, sir, you're in 55 zone. Like, you can't go that fast.
So that freeway is 55 miles an hour until you hit Bell, then it's 65.
I know, that's one of the things that I really love too, is just like when they started to go into Arizona, or when she was describing Arizona, I was just like, I know these things.
Yeah. Honestly, I did read that article where she was like, they were doing like a Q&A or asking Stephenie Meyer if she was going to continue on the series, like from Edward's point of view. And she's like, absolutely not. Like she literally just finished this book because it was something that I think Jen said it the best, where it was something that was like taken away from us, because when those chapters were posted, it was like, and she didn't want to publish it anymore. It was kind of like the fandom lost that opportunity. And it was just like, it was such a long time coming that we just felt like it was never going to be a possibility. And she's like, I just needed to do this for the fans, get it out there, but I'm definitely not doing like through the entire series through Edward's point of view. She said, especially because New Moon is just such a hot, depressing dumpster fire. She's like, I would never do that. I would never do that to you.
Thanks, Stephenie. What I think she should do, though, is what Veronica Roth did in Divergent. She had a separate book of novellas, and she picked like 5 stories. And I think that would be fascinating to get like some highlighted ones, but not necessarily like the whole novel. Because you're right. I was thinking about it. I was going to ask that question, like, should she continue on with all the other books from his perspective? But then it's just like, it doesn't work that way, because it's just like what E.L. James did with 50 Shades of Grey and Darker. I was like, okay, so we're literally getting nothing new. It's all the same. The dialogue is still garbage. Like, can we move past this? So I think having a couple select scenes from his POV would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know if I would actually have her do the whole book. Yes, the car scene.
I saw Nat's tweets like, we really gonna have Grand Theft Auto on this? Oh yeah, here's her. That shot.
That was fascinating. Yes.
Newman and Twilight are my faves, so it did work out. I'm not sure if the others would feel the same way.
And you know what? I thought for this book that, I mean, I expected like an epilogue for maybe like a different chapter from a different book type thing. So when it just ended with the prom, I was like, well, that's unoriginal. That happened in the first one.
Hear about the sequels Stephenie has in the works. Sequels to what? I hope you say The Host.
Oh, my Host. Yeah, I think The Host is one of them, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, Shannon, I did see that on Goodreads. It's this book is Twilight number 5. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, 1.5 would be more accurate, but yeah.
Oh, great idea, Jen.
Yeah. Oh my God, Emmett. I loved him so much. And I hate Jessica 10 times more than I ever did.
Oh my God.
She's
That
wild.
one thing, like, especially when Edward was hearing all of her thoughts when they were in the cafeteria, and I was like, oh yeah, she really is a bitch. Perfect. It's just like, but I would love the novella. Like, I would like a little something from Carlisle. I would like a little something from Esme. And Esme is just too pure. I love her so much. No one deserves her. No one deserves Esme. She is
except for Carlisle.
Except for Carlisle. Yes.
I think Carlisle is the only worthy person to.
Oh my gosh, for real. Yes. Because she is just every thought she had was just so like motherly, and she just wanted to love Bella, and she was just so whatever Edward wanted.
Edward happy, yep.
Yes, and I'm just like, you are just too pure.
Yes.
Too pure.
That was yes. I loved everything between Edward and Alice. Although I will say the one time when she was like, Edward, how could you? Like, because he was eating her in the clearing or whatever, I was just like, okay, you haven't even met this lady yet. But then granted, Stephenie explains, like, just because we don't know or we haven't lived the future doesn't mean that Alice doesn't already have these emotions. But I was just like, it was really awkward in the audiobook because all of a sudden you just hear Edward, no, in like a man's imitation of a female voice, and those are always never good.
And honestly, I was just like, Jake,
yes.
you're acting too much for Bella. She doesn't feel that much, okay? You need to tone it down. You're at like a 10. I need you down at like a 4 like for Bella, okay? Emmett is too good for Rosalie, honestly. Like,
I really hated Rosalie in this book. Like, I get her reasonings for it, and I like that everything that happens in Eclipse that they kind of like bridge the gap there, but at the same time, I'm just like, I kind of went back to hating you a lot in this one.
Honestly, I'm just like, get over it. We know you want to be human. And I just felt so bad for Emmett. Like, that's why I kind of want something from his point of view, because it's like, how would you feel as a person if your significant other whom you love dearly would just completely like just toss you aside, throw you away for just the chance of being human again? Like,
yeah, like
not even the love of your life is, worth staying a vampire for. Like, okay, fine.
It's all about the babies with Rosalie. She gets Renesmee later, so that's fine.
What did you guys think of the prom scene?
This was one of my questions, is that Alice actually had a premonition of what Bella would look like if Edward ever left. So he knew how she would react. So I was just like, how, knowing that, could he have left her in New Moon? Because that scene, those moments brought him so much pain and suffering. And then he still does it. So that is one thing that I would love. That's like one of the only reasons that I would say, like, continue with the series, because I really want to know his mental process on having known that would be her reaction. Exactly. Why would you even possibly do it? And I get his whole, she'll move on, but it's just like, Alice had a vision. Like, don't bet against that. Don't bet against Alice. Come on, Edward. You say it all the time.
Exactly.
Mike too. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike. It's Mike. I loved when Edward. Yes, she's just like brother, and like hugs him. I'm just like, oh my God, you are too cute, too precious. And
but then I think it works.
Everything. Yeah, he sees everything, so he's just like, oh yeah, this is Alice. And then he introduces her to like everybody else. This is Alice, our sister. Hey, how you doing? So funny. It was just so cute. I loved that's what I loved most about this book, is that the little bits that we get of like them becoming a family, and then how they interact with each other, and how seamless it is, because they've just been together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Rosie was such a mess, honestly. Yes.
She was. She does grow, but like in this book, like I went right back to hating her super easy.
Shannon, yes. I was like, oh my God, this is adorable. I love it so much.
Oh God. Yeah, that was
like, they're just like putting like matchmakers. I'm like, oh my God.
He's like, you want to help me out with something, Emmett?
Why did Edward have to watch her sleep? Okay, so what I loved about this, getting this through Edward's point of view, is like he acknowledges that he's a creepy person for watching her sleep. I was like, well, at least he acknowledges that it's creepy, because otherwise, if he thought it was perfectly okay, I might have to.
That was one of my notes. I was like, thank God he understands, like, it's really wrong and it's pervy and it's gross and he shouldn't do that.
Yes. Yeah, Rosalie is so vain. If it's not about her, she doesn't want to do it. That's exactly it.
Yep.
He is like, honestly, I would just love a scene from Emmett's point of view. I would love that.
I want it to be one, like, from the later books when he's making the sexual innuendos with Charlie around. And speaking of Charlie, he can't, Edward can't, why was this never acknowledged that Edward can't hear Charlie, like, clear as day? That came out, he was like, oh, I didn't even know he was there. And I was like, didn't know he was there. Like, what is your ability? How do you function, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just thought that was really interesting. Like, oh, maybe that's where Bella gets it, Charlie has some sort of, preternatural ability to kind of block his, thoughts and stuff. Maybe it has the fact to do with, like, he's a cop and he needs to stay, like, kind of not really emotionless, but, kind of stay, like, on track and stuff.
But I also loved how he's just like, he always kept listening in on Charlie and was like, oh, he's like more concerned about Bella. And then when she said the things and he was stuck in Forks watching him, and he was just sitting there looking at an empty TV thinking about Bella, I was like, that hurts so much.
Will we have the original series originate from Bella or Edward's point of view?
So Edward's.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, I'm all about Edward.
Yeah. Get some time with the Cullens. Yes.
Yeah. I would like a pre-Twilight book. Like, having them all met each other, but like, what would your drama be for that? So that would be the only issue.
Why I want a Carlisle book. That is why, because I want them, like, I want his story, because he's just so interesting, and he's very old, not very old, but but yeah, it's like I would, and then bringing them all together, I would love it. Maybe it can be like a multi POV book. Yeah, I would like that.
It could be 1,000 pages. I'll read it. My Twihard flag like flew strong this last month. So
yeah, Edward is very self-aware. That is for sure. Emmett is the best, honestly. Yes, he's like an underrated character, honestly.
That would be so wonderful.
Yes, I would love it.
Because you could leak into it with some of the little innuendos from Charlie, and then been like, "Hey, remember that thing I told you about? Let's do this." And then, bam! Oh
yeah. Honestly, I would love that. I just love the fact that Emmett has a thing. His favorite animal to eat is a bear, because how he almost died is he was in a bear attack. I'm like, that is so funny. He's still holding a grudge 70 years later. It's just like, okay, you're honestly not going to win that fight as a human, Emmett. Give yourself a break.
Yeah, like, I want to know, because it always seemed like he was very able to know exactly what Charlie was thinking. So I never expected in this book being like, oh, I can't really hear him very well. And I was like, can't hear him very well. Like, this is news to me, and I've read like 5 of your books already. 4.5, whatever.
There were a couple scenes in here where I was reading and I was like, did we get that in Twilight? Like, yeah. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to remember, like, Edward's age for one. He said he was like, you would think I was some, horny 17-year-old except for 104. And I was like, wait, you're 104? I thought you were older than that.
I know, I thought it was like 117 or something. 15 years or whatever, but still.
And then where he's talking about how, like, he didn't really have to pay attention in chemistry because he has 2 doctorates or 2 medical degrees. And I'm just like, what? You do?
Since when? Like, this was not mentioned previously. And I feel like it would.
This is vital information.
I feel like that would have come up at least in one of the other books, but it was
like when they're talking, like getting to know each other, especially after Bella knows that he's a vampire, like.
Just FYI, I have a couple degrees already. A couple medical degrees, couple, writing degrees. I was a Major League Baseball player once. I don't know, something.
Shannon would pick that of you.
I would say that for some things, because yeah, I feel like had we got it originally from Edward's point of view, we would have had way too much information, and I don't think we would have appreciated it as much. We would have been like, can we get to the point already?
Yes.
So I can definitely see where you're going there, Shannon.
Yes. And then, yeah, I'm totally 100% with you. Shomala, like I was more into Harry Potter than I was into Twilight. So.
Sorry, I'm just reading the next comment already.
Don't do that. I saw on Reddit that Stephenie said she has 2 sequels planned. Okay. Interesting.
Can they be from Edward's point of view?
That's true. Jen is
true.
saying like she's like he becomes like the more
Kinda
you get
like
to know someone, or the more
like
trust you have, like maybe as their relationship progresses and Charlie starts trusting Edward more, like his walls will start coming down, his shield will come down.
Never trusted Edward until they were married. Okay, let's just be real.
Not
Until
even
he
after
tied
that.
the
Not even
knot,
after that.
he was hoping that Jacob would swoop in and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna steal your daughter."
You know, honestly, like no one shipped Jacob and Bella quite like Charlie did.
It's so true. Oh my god, the books from Charlie. No, let's not do a Charlie POV. I don't think that would be very exciting.
No. I think the reason I knew Charlie had block is because.
And that's something I want to ask for everyone that's read the book. How did this compare to what you've read? I know that this was 10, 12 years ago when it leaked in 2008, but was it close to what you were reading? Was it really off?
Yeah, I want to know if it's like the same or if it's different.
Like drastically different?
He does nothing. He just like goes back to high school. That's all he does.
Well, you got to also think though, he looks like he's 17. So would you have a doctor? Like, how can he get through school unless if like Carlisle just starts his own practice and then it's just like, oh, this is my apprentice. He's gone to school. Here are his degrees from, 1945.
Honestly, he has to get really good at contouring makeup just to make himself look older. That shade, like dark circles under the eyes. That's really all you got to do to look 10 years older is with those dark circles.
Alice would be like, have a heyday. She loved shopping. Oh my God. That scene at the end where she was going through like how she was going to have to set up the scene and everything. And like, she'd be like, oh, something was off. Give me your watch. Oh, something was off. Give me your jacket. I was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Also, for the Jackson, if you don't know, there's the illustrated edition of the Lightning Thief, and it's on Amazon for $8. So get it. because it says like the original price is $40 too. So if it's $8, get it. It still has those typos in the first few chapters. No, Nat. She didn't even go back and revisit. She's like, okay, let's just add it on. Let's go.
I mean, she probably just wanted to get done and out of it, being like, it's off my plate. People can stop. Because I'm sure every interview she does for any book ever is, are you ever going to finish Midnight Sun? Are you ever going to finish Midnight Sun? From her point of view, I would probably rage write it and be like, get this bitch out of here.
You're like, okay, we're done. I honestly do you think that she might have reread Twilight just to get back into the mindset to continue Midnight Sun?
I mean, maybe.
All the content I read back then was in this version. Okay.
Oh.
That's good.
I was added. Okay.
Ooh, the first 5 chapters were still identical. Advanced plastic surgery.
Can I just say that I was right though with the venom and the saliva, and I don't care what you say about the kissing thing and the having to be careful with the prick and whatnot, but you can read it in this book. It says that there's saliva in the mouth.
It doesn't make sense, but okay.
Neither does periods in high school and Jasper being able to
venom turning people into vampires, but there's venom in your saliva, and now you're kissing people. Well, all y'all are vampires now. Whoever you don't kiss, you're vampires now. Make it make sense.
It has to enter the bloodstream. Close to the heart. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Like she has to change over time. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. They're invisible. Do you see those? They're invisible.
I think I was talking to Nat about this, about how like if there's one thing that this series does is not make sense. So Honestly,
do like that, yeah.
the scenes where like everything was changing, they were talking about there's a knot of possibilities that it's like the outcome is unclear because there's so many decisions. Like they're just
In this
featuring
one
things,
moment.
yeah, through Edward's decisions. Alice is like Bella's decisions aren't even.
Were you about ready to call him Bedward?
Bedward. Bella's decisions aren't even like factored into this. Like, so this is purely you. Like, and it's just like such a jumbled mess. And she was seeing everything, like every single possibility. I felt like Rebel Wilson in Pitch Perfect. I'm like, enough, no more visions, please.
It made me think of Doctor Strange at the end of Infinity Wars. He's like, I saw 14,675 and one possibilities all at once. I was just like, sit down there, Squidward.
How did you get through all those futures? I can't handle it. Yes, illustrated edition of Percy Jackson. Mm-hmm. Get it. Otherwise, it's just refining what you had already written until he drops her off at the night before the meadow. Oh, okay, before the meadow.
I guess I was wondering when. I couldn't remember what. I know you guys had told us, and I was like, I can't remember when you guys said it stopped.
Way more content. The original was 260. Wow.
That makes sense.
That's still a lot. That's a lot that was leaked then. That's a lot.
I'm proud of her for finishing it, because if that much was leaked, I probably would have done the same thing for her and was like, forget it. Not going to happen.
Dang, it's $15 now, not $8. That's unfortunate.
How dare you?
I honestly checked it a couple days ago and it was still $8, but
I watch those movies semi-frequently. I do a lot of re-watching of favorites just because you just never know what new things are going to come out. So I was like, if I'm going to spend 2 hours sitting here, I'd like to know what's going to happen. Plus, I do a lot of paint by numbers. So if I know the story, then I can just visualize it as
you just have it on as at the background.
That's how I've watched Kingsman 30 times for that.
Edward was on the edge. I felt like Edward was on the edge for most of this book.
Yeah, he was. Like, how did he? From Bella's point of view, I didn't get the impression that he was like so close. Like, he was close, but he wasn't just like towing the edge. More like he was one leg off and doing vampire straddling.
Vampire straddling.
This isn't breaking down today.
So this question here, why are Bella's decisions not a factor? That feels like a bit of a meta question. Okay, so I'm just thinking like maybe Bella has to be like nearby.
No,
or she has to be part of the conversation and actually thinking things, and I don't know.
Because I don't think she had made a decision at that point yet either. I think that she liked Edward, but she didn't know where it was going. So I think because Edward was conflicted and then Bella was conflicted at the same time, it created so many possibilities. So I don't think that necessarily, for me at least, it didn't feel like she wasn't considered. It's just I think at that point they were both so... They were like on a swing set. They hadn't really picked a direction just yet. So...
Well, I'm also thinking like maybe if Bella was a part of that conversation, like if they were all three there, you know, having a conversation about it, like maybe like she would be making decisions or making, you know, thinking things, and then that would affect the situation as well.
Possibly,
so, yeah. Yikes.
35. No. Put it in your wish list and then wait for it to go on sale.
That's true. Do that.
That's how
He's the biggest emo boy ever.
Yeah, he was. For 104, he was very emo.
Very. And he even said in this book, he was just like, I'm still 17 in a lot. Of ways, you know. You guys,
I would love to, but I have very few of those things.
I know. I was like, well, I'm literally, I just have a full-time job and I'm a wife. That's literally it. That's all I have. Honestly, I would say
I do a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, for sure. Audiobooks. Like when you're cleaning, on your commute, when you're grocery store shopping, like all of that time, just be listening to stuff.
I can't do the grocery store because I'm way too focused on like, what do I need? Like, what aisle is it down? Then I see something and I'm like a squirrel. And I go, oh, I can make something with this, or this looks delicious. Maybe I'll just buy this instead. There's too much decision making going on in the store.
Would he be what people mean when they describe as angsty? Yes. I need more books. Yes. Read all the books.
100%.
I have not seen
yet,
the kissing. I want to.
Ooh, maybe I'll do that tonight.
This is my phrase for the day. Vampire straddling. Alice doesn't know
it's not
Bella
exactly what
yet.
we want out of vampire straddling, but we should, make a fanfic of it because I'm sure it's out there.
It is, for 100%. Alice can see her choices better.
True.
That's true.
Well, and I think later on, like, Bella is pretty set in her ways. So I think that also helps make she sees Bella, this is what she wants out of her future. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, and the more you get to know somebody, sure. Yeah. But Alice knew Jasper is coming into her life. I feel like I wasn't buying how Alice has been at Village's work. Honestly, like I said before, if there's one thing about this series is that it doesn't make a lot of sense and there's plot holes everywhere, and not like she'll say one thing and then contradict it over here and be like, oh, but this happens, and so it's very like, well, Alice's visions work this way in one scene and this way in another scene. It's just a way for her to move the plot along. Life-altering change. So she was finding the Cullens. Those are her first visions when she woke from her coma.
Yeah.
India, Steph, and Charles are also live right now. I know India's doing her Wind Down Wednesday, and I'm like, dang it. I usually I try to watch it as I'm getting ready for our live streams here because we're, ours is later, but unfortunately, I'm leaving tonight for California, so I had to have this one this live stream a little bit early.
Say, move it up.
I think that's not my
It's not my favorite.
Honestly, that's why I don't really read a lot of I do read a lot of YA, but when it's like the angsty, like teen drama, like that's for sure.
Drives me nuts, yeah.
I thought the whole store was like, where do we put?
That's why I can't do it because I have to focus too much.
I love how this
audiobooking and shop is not how I'm able to do it, but cleaning is really good. If you're doing something slightly mindless, like I listen to it as I get ready for bed at night, just because it's like one of the only times that I have not doing anything or while I'm getting ready in the morning. So that's a little bit of a way to do it.
It is, Izzy, it is a live stream overlap. Honestly, yeah, I feel like a lot of things happen in a lot of books that are it's specifically done for plot devices. It's like, it makes sense. It's like the author needs the story to move this way. So it's like, okay, well, this is what we're doing now. It's like, unfortunately, sometimes stuff in books don't make sense.
A lot of times.
Unfortunately. Probably won't finish the whole series, which will make me sad.
I think the problem with the Host was the movie. As much as I like Saoirse Ronan, and I think that they did a decent job, I also think that hurt the movie. But I think that she was too well known for Twilight. So yeah, I think that when it comes to Stephenie Meyer, it's going to be really hard to break out of that particular.
So you didn't like the Host movie?
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. There were things about it that I didn't like how they portrayed from the book to the movie. And I've had this discussion with you before. You already know.
Magical powers are always a plot device. That is for sure. Maybe an audiobook on the way to. Oh, yeah. Every time I'm driving. Mm-hmm.
Although if I've got too much going on my mind, driving and audiobooking doesn't always work. And you might figure out the speed, because I know that sometimes if the speed is too slow or too fast, I lose interest. So I have to find that sweet spot where it's too fast for me to not pay attention, but not too slow that I can wander. Because that's my biggest problem.
Okay, so for the Host, I feel like the book was really long. I felt like the movie did a really good idea of just trimming the fat kind of thing and just making it because the book
I
was
didn't.
hella long for sure.
I like Saoirse Ronan, but I did not like the voiceover that they had for her in her head, like the little extra voice. That was not my favorite.
Like her own voice, that's her voice. Like
I know, but how they portrayed it, they made it weird.
Okay. I was like, I thought you were like the voice they gave her. I was like, her voice? That's her. Like she's doing it.
I think they had like a weird echo to it to make it sound like she was underwater, and I was like, please don't. Like, oof.
She was under brain matter. She had to get her voice out through the brain matter.
All right, they're grasping at invisible straws.
I gotta make it happen. Yes, in the Side Changeling series, the mating bond cures everything, and I love that because I love me a good mating bond. And we still need to get Jen to read this series because she's still dragging her damn feet.
I have so many books in my TBR. Okay, if you want to make that the next book that we read next week, then let's do it.
Shannon, that was a moment you didn't like the Host movie.
I have been judged for that statement a lot. It was back. I need to rewatch it again just to see if my feelings are the same. But I remember having read the book and really enjoying the book, and then going to the movie and being like, I'm in film school and I feel like I could have put something together slightly better.
Then film it on your iPhone and give it to me.
I don't know that many people. The production would be yeesh.
No matter how many audiobooks I have to listen to, I will never love laundry. No. I'm weird. I love to do dishes and listening to an audiobook. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, leave me be. Dishes, because we let them pile up, and I'm like, I'll do the dishes, I'll dry them, I'll wash them, I'll put them away. Honestly, like Saoirse Ronan has such a strong accent. I'm just surprised she can do any accent besides that one.
Irish. I love her so much.
I love her. She's fantastic. The book host. Yeah, it was long. Mm-hmm. I think the book sci-fi concepts were a bit too simple.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Read Side
Changeling. It's on my TBR.
Read it. I didn't really care for the host, sadly, but I know Stephenie did say at one point she wanted to be known for more. Mm-hmm. And Jen from the Book Refuge has read The Chemist. I haven't read The Chemist yet, but she said she did like The Chemist. Jen, chime in here. I read 3 books in Side Changeling, but it's been years. I know, right? Don't remember the bigger cast. I might need to say, yes, Start Again. They're so good. I love it.
Irish accent, English accent, Scottish accent, any of those 3, and
yes, 100%.
We can just imagine. I'll drink my Irish Guinness.
Your Irish Guinness. Yep. See, she said The Chemist was great.
It was brewed in Dublin. It said it on this thing.
Everyone has
brewed
to
in
read
Ireland by Guinness.
Yes. I need some.
How many books are there
in the Side Changeling series? I think
18.
18 just came out.
18. Oh my god! I need to get caught up with the JR Award ones. I started doing one of the novellas that's like 16.5 because I'm at least 4 books behind.
It's a female Jason Bourne. What?
I didn't know this.
I didn't know this either. I like Jason Bourne. So I might have to move that up on my Australian accent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My husband loves Australian accent. Yes.
That's true. I always forget about them, but yep. 100%. 100%.
And I also feel like we've talked about 14 in season 1, 3 in season. Yes. The Side Changeling or the Trinity or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, Jen. You don't. Jen knows because she's actually read the books. Yes. Or she's reading the books. I also want to say that we have hit a lot of my Post-it notes so far. So that's.
I know. I think. Let me pull out my notes because I think I talked about a lot of them already.
Yeah.
I stopped about halfway through the books because I just stopped. Oh, yeah. I was expecting Dolly to be longer. Yeah, just because I was more interested in reading than I was in writing notes. Edward struggles to hear Charlie, and I was like, what? Oh, Eric's #1 dream vacation on his bucket list is Comic-Con. I was like, I have a new appreciation for Eric.
Yeah.
He's now one of my favorites.
He's now my favorite.
What would your dream getaway be?
Probably Ireland.
Anybody? I'll go with you.
Do it. I have one post-it note on here that it's when Alice and Edward were talking about how like he's not strong enough to stay away. It's a lost cause. Like it's like he's so far gone. And I was like, oh, this would have been the end of the book for me if I was Edward, because if there's one sure way to get me to do something, it's to tell me I can't do it or not to do it. So it's like, oh, I can stay away from her. Never see this bitch again. No. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? Because it's the only book series on it. It's like Shannon, they're like spin-offs. They're like it's like a series within a series. They're like spin-offs. Comic-Con for your honeymoon. That's
it's
awesome.
So amazing. I go every year.
I'd pick
Ireland, yes. I would love to go back to Ireland and do the countryside, and I would love to go back to Scotland and do like the Highlands, but take our own car and then like start and stop at our own time. Just being from Arizona, the green would be phenomenal.
It's like I wouldn't be like Bella and be like, oh, there's too much green squishy stuff here. I hate it. I'm like, oh my God, it's magical.
Well, in her defense, she's living there now. I don't think I would want to live. That's a lie. I'd live there.
Oh.
I could go visit the Guinness storehouse any day of the week, being like, pour me a Guinness.
Pour me another one.
I know it takes 119.5 seconds. Let's go. I'm timing you.
Let's get, as soon as you see me walk in, they're just going to be, I better start pouring it for her. We've been every year ever since. That's so.
You have to. You can't not go. I've been wanting to start that one too.
I reread the first one. I'm just like, oh my God, why did I stop this series? Because it's so freaking good.
So Cozy Mom, I have a real cool question for you. Were you able to ever go to any of the panels with the Twilight cast? Because the first year I went was Breaking Down Part 2. So I actually got to sit in on that, and I was surprised that the place was as empty as it was.
What is this desert? When Bella was talking about how the desert smells after a rainstorm, like it's the creosote, and I was just like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I love that smell. And
it's my favorite smell in the world, and she's totally right. If you can learn to bottle it, like I would buy it 100%. Don't read the starting novella. Good to know. When should I read the novella?
What I do when authors have like huge series like that, what I do is I read the books based on publication date. I read them like as the author is put them out, like that's the order that people are meant to receive them. So whenever it's like super long or convoluted like that, I read books based on publication date. Oh, that's awesome. Is it? Yes. I'm so excited. Goodreads tells you to start with, but that should not be correct. Don't do the Fated Mates order. Do the Fated Mates order for Immortals After Dark. Fated Mates is a podcast.
Yeah, so, I have one of my notes was Bella describing Arizona #accurate. And then I was so excited because he was asking where she would go to college, if she could go anywhere, and she's like, I was always expecting to go to Arizona State, and I was like, go Devils. I was so excited. I was like, she would have been a Sun Devil.
I would really like when we were talking about the novella of scenes through others' point of view. I would really like the scene of Rosalie saving Emmett and Carlisle changing. I would love that scene. I would love it because it just sounds so interesting. That's kind of like the only time where I actually liked Rosalie in this book. Is when she was just like, save him. I'm like, oh my God, you care about someone else besides yourself. It's amazing. Someone jot it down in history. Yeah, that's what I do, honestly. It's just easier that way. And honestly, And that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing with T.S. Joyce. T.S. Joyce has a lot of shifter romances, and they all kind of intertwine at some point. So it's just like, if you don't want to read a book and they get spoiled for something else that happened in the other book, just read it based on the publication date. Immortals After Dark sidetrack. Yes, the Vampire Bachelor Party. They probably went crazy. Yeah. It's true. It just doesn't give you enough. It honestly doesn't. That's okay. I can talk about Immortals After Dark too.
I can't, not yet.
No, you can, of course, yes.
I think the last thing I have on here that doesn't relate to, because I have two. One more is like, how could he leave her? But my other one was, I was like that Edward recognizes his stalker tendencies of breaking into Bella's room. And then when Bella mumbles, Scottsdale Road is faster. And I was like, in what universe? Like, Scottsdale Road is the worst.
The worst. I'm like, do not ever.
If it tells you to take Scottsdale Road, take literally any other exit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That would have been the best scene from Edward, or from Emmett's perspective. Stephenie Meyer, if you're watching this, please, novellas, short stories, and make that one of them.
Make that one of them.
Please and thank you. You're the best.
Thank you. Oh, that's so funny. And then on my last Post-it note was them looking at. Yeah, well, the last Post-it note that we haven't talked about. We've talked about everything on like that.
I know. We got real excited. I was ready for this. I was so excited to start discussing this book. I gave it 4 stars. I mean, I would have probably given it 5, but I wanted a little bit more new. Mm-hmm. But it was still fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. And honestly, I'm thinking about giving it 4 stars too, like strictly because like that extra star, like I said, is for Jake Abel. I got it. But the last Post-it note that I have that we haven't talked about yet was that they were looking when Edward and Bella were looking at the not safe for work. Yes. I doubt it too, honestly, but I would there's for sure. There's probably for sure fan fiction happening. I can dream anything. This is my dream. This is Jen's dream world. We're just living in it, honestly. We won't. It's against her will.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But in this book, it made like I'm like 100% now that Edward's definitely a virgin. So, like, there's no question anymore. Don't doubt it at all. There was a little bit of a doubt, but not anymore.
Edward's mind read on Jacob. Okay.
Which was fascinating because he did not hate Jacob at this point. He was just like, he had such a pure mind, and then like he comes back and he thinks that he's complete garbage. And I was like, what happened to that pure mind, Edward? Come on.
Dreams are good. Like 5 times. I know. I love how in this book, like, Rosalie will probably want another wedding. She loves getting married.
I mean, when you have all the money in the world, why not have like a wedding every couple of years? Alice buys new clothes for them, like, and they wear it once, and then it's old news.
For sure. Yes, I would honestly love Alice as like my personal like wardrobe. I would love it. Also 4 stars. I'm over her being kind.
It was more of like a nostalgia read for me. So it, like, going back into that world was just, it brought back a lot of memories and happy times. So I think that's why it's probably quite so high for me.
Yeah. Honestly, I just thought this was written a lot better, especially because the other series is just so fresh in my head. You know, it's definitely. True. Yeah, I just think it's just better written. And maybe I just like Edward's point of view more. He's the more interesting character. I
tend to really love books if we get a female version first and then we get a male version. I almost always like the man's point of view better. And I don't know if it's because I already know the story and this is just a new take on it, or if it's because I'm just more fascinated by the man's mind. it's just, yeah, I've always really enjoyed, I know that probably this is terrible. I did read 50 Shades of Grey. I did read Darker. And I did like reading it more from his point of view. And I think it could be just like we have his understanding and his reasonings for why he is kind of like garbage. But, you know.
I went in with very low expectations too. Like I was like, I'm not even going to expect anything. Don't expect anything because that is just one sure way to. I'm going with 2 stars. That's just one sure way to be disappointed is just to go in with expectations.
Yeah, I definitely went in with 0 expectations. I was like, it's probably going to be exactly like Twilight, and it was. But it has his POV on other minds, so.
That's true, Jen, too. It's like it's like you're getting, you know, not just Edward's point of view because he can hear other people's thoughts. And honestly, if I physically read the book, I think I would give it 3 stars. And that seriously, that extra star is just because of Jay Gable. It's not even because of Midnight Sun. Let's just be real. Because more of the books, like I was giving like 2 and 3 stars as well, like the original series. So
I must say I probably gave them all about 4 stars. But again, it was one of those books just at the time I loved it. And then like I literally have not read these books in about 10 years. So it just brought back a lot of memories. So I was like, there's still 4 because I love it. But I can recognize them for the not goodness that they are.
Sweet and clean for the year. Yes. So much better than
100%.
Honestly, yeah, like worst parts, yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Lizzie, you did say that if you didn't reread the first series, though, right? Did you say that? Like maybe you shouldn't have reread Twilight? I'm trying to throw you a bone here. But
I just, it was nice to go back, and
Ashley at the bookish realm said that nostalgia just wasn't enough for her to enjoy the series. So thank you very much. I'm not a fan of Edward. Yeah. I mean, there are people that just love this book so much just because it's from Edward's point of view and that they just don't like Bella. So that's extra creepy. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is. I didn't know that. And
I didn't know that either. Yikes. Remind me never to read that series again.
I mean, I wasn't ever planning on it. I did once just to see what it was like. And I was like, never again. They're so much better.
If you hadn't reread, I would have liked it more. Yeah. Oh, it's a sham to compare Christian to Edward. I don't even see the archetype that they are comparing. The masochism and sadism, I think.
Yeah.
I'm ready for y'all to spoil me. Honestly, like Tamika.
It's hard to spoil.
I decided I'm not reading. I can't unsee her misogyny or racism or evaluation for yes. That's for sure. Yeah. It is it's so like blatantly obvious like when I reread it. It's like especially stuff like I didn't even notice reading it the first time around and then rereading it. It's like yikes. Yikes. There was a hand twitch moment in this and I was like, is that a 50 Shades?
I don't think I ever would imagine Stephenie Meyer reading 50 Shades of Grey. So I'm going to say if she did, it was probably unintentional.
Yeah. That would have been hilarious, though. I'm just going to assume yes.
You're like, it's forever marked as a yes.
Yes. Obviously, also the discussion I'm a part of means I'm reading it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched, I think I can't remember. I haven't watched all of like the discussions that you're a part of, Izzy, but I did watch one and you guys were very, into like just breaking down the constructs of the book and into that, the hard hitting, just not good racist parts of the books. And yeah, that's understandable. And I was just gonna say, like Tamika's like, I'm ready for y'all to spoil me. It's like, unfortunately, we do have to cut this live stream short because like I said, I'm leaving for California very soon.
I'm surprised we got through as much as we did. Like, I'm proud of us.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we got through it. Yeah. So this is
Alice's stuff was amazing.
Oh yeah,
their conversations back and forth were fabulous. Mm-hmm. There weren't very many though.
Yeah, it was. That's what I. Yeah, can't support Stephenie Meyer. Watch from the beginning. We talk about it a lot. Tamika.
True.
On the rewatch.
It was nice meeting you. I guess now we should also probably figure out what we're reading next, or are we just going to wait for the cat series?
Well, I believe it's not 100% yet, but I'm going to be doing a Wind Down Wednesday with India next Wednesday on her channel. So I won't be available next Wednesday, but
Wednesday after.
I am living on the edge, Izzy. I have to. Yes. I can't do it. It's already deep.
Yeah. We started hard this time.
Just a live stream before leaving. Like, we packed everything yesterday, and I still had to work today, so it's just like I had to make sure everything was ready to go anyway. Nicole, oh, thank you. No, it's okay. Like, we started so early. It's
usually 6. We usually give you guys more time.
Yes, yeah. It's just my husband's like, as soon as I come home, I want to leave. I'm like, okay, I have a live stream that's been planned since May, but all right.
I know, like, as soon as this came out, we're like, okay, we're going to read the whole series in July, and then we're going to pick this up in August.
Oh, you ever read anything,
Nicole?
Any recommendations on where to start? Huh, yes.
I mean, do you want vampires? Do you want contemporary? Do you want, like, completely off-world? Give us somewhere to start for you.
That's a whole live stream we can do in and of itself. I didn't even have my tea yet. I'm so sorry.
How dare you, Nicole? Look at what you've done to us.
I have a trigger for non-consenting, so please.
Yeah, Nicole doesn't like that, so she'll steer you away from it.
Yeah. I know, like, where to start? I
was like, give me a subgenre.
If you like vampires, try reading The Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward.
Black Dagger Brotherhood would be my suggestion. If you're in for like a series, I would. But that there's 2 books that are non-consenting. Charlene Kenyon's Dark Hunter series.
Yeah, and those 2 books are so hard.
I love those characters at those books, and they are the largest of the series, but they are like thousands of years old, and so they go back to the beginning when there is rapey stuff, which is a trigger for me.
Yes.
And I almost DNF'd it, and I was like, as much as I want to finish this series, I don't know if I can continue to read this. So just forewarning on that one, but all the other 41 books in the series are pretty solid.
I know, that's a large series too. Just start with The Black Dagger Brotherhood, yes. Just realize I really love romance and need some more in my life. Yeah. I love that. I know. I'm trying to think looking at my books right here.
That one starts off with the non-consenting, because I was thinking of Maya Banks in Love with the Highlander series.
Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Katrina Jackson, Beverly Jenkins. Yes. That's a good idea. Follow romance tubers. Yes. If you're comfortable with Daddy Kink, shameless plug for Brianna Hill. How did I know Tamika was going to plug that? How did I know that? The Dark Hunters, I had to drop off after Acheron. Yeah. I loved it so much.
It hurt. That book was painful. So.
Oh, yes. Jen and Tamika have the Taboo romance book club. So that's going to be starting, and that's amazing. Megan Quinn for sports. I need to still read Megan Quinn. I just need to read Acheron and be done. I
had to audiobook it and listen to it
like fast. you have him throughout the entire series, and his book is book number 14. I'm like, can you not torture me like this, please.
Well, and then the first 600 pages are just absolute torture because of all of the rapiness and his. Oh, I felt bad for him. I didn't think I could feel bad for anyone more than Acheron, and then they gave me sticks, and I was well, that fucking sucked like hard. Like I thought Acheron had it bad. Like crank that up about 100, and you've got sticks. And I was like, I feel so bad for that guy.
100%.
Once you do Acheron, just know that Styx is right around the corner, and that one is also a rough read.
That's why I'm a series skipper. One of my favorite like contemporary romances is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan too. So that one's really good.
Love that one.
Love it. And
they do. It was the freaking uncle. He needed such a if he could get hit by a train repeatedly for every day for the rest of his life and all of eternity in hell where he belongs, that's not enough.
He is mad at the first director for exposing her for not wanting diversity. I mean,
maybe
people get mad when they get called out.
Yeah. It's true.
But I do have to go. Everybody, I'm so sorry to cut this short, but I love all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad that, honestly, I can say like I'm glad it's over. But I'm glad we ended it on this because it was actually, I think it was better than the original series. So I'm glad we ended on a high note.
Yeah, I can put it away for the next 10 years, and then maybe if I'm feeling ready for it again, just pop that on. Oh, it wasn't even, oh God,
Thank
what was
you. Your dad will do is really, yes, absolutely.
It's not Aphrodite, what's her name?
Artemis,
there we go.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. You have a wonderful night, and I love you all. Don't worry, there is gonna be more live streams. Don't you worry, and we'll see you. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.